What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing? As always, only two words matter, and those two words are Forza Milan. Hopefully, everybody is okay wherever you are around the world. Much blessings and many, many Forza Milans to you. Jamal Olish, what's up? Forza Milan. Joel, what's up? Forza Milan. All right, guys. A lot to talk about coming into this Saturday. We have this game against Empoli at the San Siro, last game of the Saturday night. Um, Joel, right in for the kill. Man, that was quite a cloud move from Gigio Donnarumma. I've been calling him a clown all week. Um, I don't know what he is doing. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But maybe it was a foul, guys. You know what? We'll do this. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at that moment and we're going to really analyze it the same way we analyzed the Giroud supposed offside against Napoli, the way we have analyzed other moments in this league. So we'll go to the highlights and we're going to focus on that moment. And guys, I want to ask you and what you think. Was that a foul? Do you think that was supposed to be a foul from what's his name, Benzema? It is possible. We're going to look at it later on. Now, if it's not a foul, then Donnarumma just made a mess. Total clown. Total clown stuff. Total clown stuff. Anyway, so yeah, we're going into this game Saturday. We're going to be playing 11. Well, no, it's the 8:45 game in Italy. That day, Juventus is playing, I believe, and other teams are playing. I think, but I know Juve is playing. I'm not sure if any of the other teams that are fighting for top four are playing on the Saturday. I'd have to check. Now, again, guys, I gotta say this. I'm looking at this team, and I'm looking at this situation that we've kind of got ourselves into. We beat Napoli, and we did great. Everybody is happy. Everybody is on seven heaven. Everything is perfect. The world is perfect now. But the thing is that this is something that I've said on this channel many times for a long time, something that Pioli said in the beginning of the season, and something that a lot of people share the same opinion. If you want to win the Scudetto, you got to win against the smaller teams. That's where you get your points from. Obviously, playing those small teams is difficult, and I understand why even Maldini said that these players are still not that experienced. They still don't know how to face these games that pose all these problems. And that is definitely true. That is definitely something that I do not deny. 100% that is true. But at the same time, if we want to get it, if we want to take the bull by its horns, let's just learn from our mistakes. Let's learn from our mistakes and let's go in this first of all with humility. We got to be humble, okay? And this is what Saki has been saying all season long. And I've been listening to what Saki has been saying all season long, and I've also been analyzing Pioli, right? So Pioli against Napoli sounded worried. He sounded really worried to me. Like when you hear his voice, when you hear him talk, his mannerisms, he sounded very worried. But then when he won against, let's say, Inter, and then he had the game after that, he was very confident. Well, basically, when Milan was winning a lot of games, Pioli sounded very confident. He sounded very sharp. I think the team, one of the inexperienced factors of this team is that once they start winning, they get a little bit too comfortable with themselves, and they start to think that they're the shit, in quotation, and that is something that you have to learn, and it's something that comes with maturity, right? You have to be a mature person in order to not get outside, outside exaltation and let that affect your mind. No, you got to be a worker. You got to be humble. You got to be a working man, and you got to go there and get the job done in a professional sporting way. And of course, when you're young, it's more difficult to do that. The older you get, the more you realize how you ought to be a professional. So I get it. I totally get it. These guys are still handling their pressures. They're still getting it. But there's also elements in where I don't really necessarily share Pioli's ideas. In the last game, I thought he did the perfect thing. He started with Kessie, Benacer, and Tonali, which I think is the best thing you can do at this point because those are your three best midfielders. Those are three of the best players in the team. And at this point, going till the end, you have to play your best players. And your best players, Kessie is one of your best players. Benacer is one of your best players. Tonali is one of your best players, depending on form, but also just experience in general and just the size of these players. So it makes sense. Now, on the wings, as I said, I believe that balance is going to win you games. If you are starting with Kessie, where what's his name, Diaz is supposed to usually start, then put Messias and put Leao, so you have two offensive wingers that will help. Messias does do the work. Like I look at Messias. Messias is actually very professional, very humble in the way he plays. Actually, Messias is an embodiment of a player that really treats the job very professional. But of course, he does not have the lungs of, let's say, a Salamakers, who in that position pressures really well and runs around and helps everybody. But Messias does get the job done as much as he can. But obviously, he adds offensive quality. So when you put offensive quality on the right, you put offensive quality on the left. The left is overhyped with offensive quality because you have Diaz there, Teo Hernandez there. So you have Teo Hernandez. Actually, Teo Hernandez is not playing against Empoli. But in general, you have Teo Hernandez, so the left is stacked. And the right is quite balanced because you have Calabria or Florenzi who can defend and attack in a very balanced proportion. And, for me, if he keeps on doing this formation right now, he can win all the games he needs to win with this formation. With this formation. Um, of course, the other solution is Diaz in the attacking midfield. But again, if you put Diaz in the attacking midfield, you got to have Salamakers on the right because you still need the players to run for you. You need players to run. You need players to pressure. You need players to work their asses off. And, when you have Diaz, Messias, and Leao, you're not going to get much of that covering from those three players. And plus, they might even score a goal for you. But then if they don't score a few other goals for you, when the 70th minute comes, you don't have many offensive options to put on the field. So his best option is to do what he's doing right now. Keep Kessie in the attacking midfield position. Have Benacer and Tonali. All three of these players have pretty much solidified their status as football players. Kessie has definitely solidified his status as a football player. Last year, he should have probably won the MVP. And Benacer has established his football status a long time ago when he won the African Cup of Nations. And these are the players you want on the field. Tonali. We have seen how good Tonali is. We have seen this year the growth and the form of Tonali. So these three players, these three midfielders, it is probably the best midfield in Europe, in Italy. Probably that trio right there. If you look at all the midfields, it is probably the best trio you can get in Italy. If it's not the best, it's in the top three. All right, but it's not in the top four. It's in the top three, maybe even top two, maybe even number one. So you play these three players. And as a matter of fact, this is something that coaches do often. For example, let's look at Conte. Conte, when he had Juventus, Conte came to Juventus with a 4-2-4. This is a great lesson that Conte teaches a lot of coaches. And it's something that I think Pioli is doing right now. You adapt your formation based on the best players. At a certain point, you have to decide who your best players are. You know who your best players are, and you play them. For example, in that Juve there, you had Chiellini, Bonucci, and Barzagli. And he thought to himself, well, I can't play a four in the back because all three of these guys are champions. What's the point of having one of them in the bench? So he adapted to that three in the back, and then he did the same with the midfield. He made sure that Marquisio played, Vidal played, Pogba played, and Pirlo played. But that was not his plan. That was not his original plan. He just found out, he just saw who were the best players in his team, and that's how he adapted this formation. Right now, we have a very solid system that works, but is very good. But you need to have you need to have the charisma on the field. You need to have the players with the most personality and the players that are in the best shape, best form. But at this point, because these are all finals pretty much coming up, you need the players with the charisma, with the personality. Kessie, Benacer, and Tonali, that midfield right there gives you all those qualities. Charisma, personality, leadership, technique, fight, grinta, everything is there. And literally everything you want in a midfield unit is in those three players. So that has to be his core from now to the end. That has to be his core. It has to be that triangle, that pyramid right there. And as far as the attack, looks like Ibra is going to be on the bench, so we might get to see a little bit of Ibra. Giroud is obviously going to be starting. Giroud in a great form. Actually, I don't know if Giroud is going to be starting. That is actually something that we will find out. This is what people are saying. The reports are saying Giroud is starting, but maybe Rebic could start. I mean, if he starts, it would be good for him. Lazetic, guys, nowhere to be seen. As I said, 18 teenagers, you cannot expect teenagers to do what the men do. There's a reason, because how you have men and you have boys. All right, guys. This is something that we cannot change. You have babies, infants, children, teenagers, boys, adults, men. All right. So the same thing. You got to be. It's an anomalous thing when you have a teenager that has already the personality, the intelligence, and the football IQ to be to playing with players that have been playing for many years already. Again, Messi is not the example. Mbappe is not the example. These players here are not part of the majority. These are very anomalous players. One out of thousands, one out of everything else. All right. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying. What's up, Ollie? Lazetic isn't tactically up to speed. It took Pato 6 months to integrate with us as well. Now, with Pato, though, Pato had already showed that he was a champion at those teenage years, with his team in Brazil. He was playing in the Intercontinental tournament, and he won the Libertadores, guys. If you win the Libertadores in we're talking about South America, guys. South America, when it comes to football, it's not a joke. It's not a joke, guys. All right, so Pato had already at those teenage years shown that he could play with the men. Lazetic is nowhere near what Pato was. Okay, you cannot. Lazetic is literally coming from the kids. He has a little bit of experience of coming in and out of Red Star, the first team. So completely different journey. Completely different journey. We need to be very patient with Lazetic. Lazetic is someone that maybe he can explode. Maybe, who knows? But most likely, it is a player that we have to wait for. And when I say wait for, I mean a few years. Not this year, not next year, maybe not even the year after that, maybe in 3 years. Remember how long it took for Leao, guys? Remember year one? Many of us weren't convinced. Year two, not so good, but he had some moments. Year three, he exploded. And Lazetic is even under that because Lazetic is um, even younger than now. I was hoping Lazetic will pull a Kalulu and surprise us, but it looks like he's not ready yet. He's not ready yet, and we have to be patient. When he'll be ready, we'll see. Also, guys, it is very possible that we won't even ever see him, and we might not even see him up until the end of the season, and then he might straight go on loan. So be prepared for that also. Now, yeah, guys, he could. I'm not. I obviously I don't know. He could just show up in a game. You put him in a game, and then all of a sudden he's playing. He's playing great football. In order to do what Lazetic, in order to do what Kalulu did. First of all, Kalulu was gradual, of course. Kalulu didn't just happen from one day to the other. He started in his role. He started in there was a hierarchy, and his hierarchy of experience also. So Kalulu. The thing about Kalulu is that every single step he took, and he never failed a step. Every single step he took. So some players will stay on one step for a long time, and will stay on another step for a long time, but then they will grow. Kalulu, for some crazy reason, maybe an anomalous player. Even Kalulu could be that anomalous player, like a Messi, Mbappe, these players here that just have already almost like it's programmed. They know how to play the game, and the pressure doesn't get to them, and they don't need the experience because they already know what to do. It could be that Kalulu is this kind of player. Let's see. He could be. But in order for Lazetic to do what Kalulu did, that means that Lazetic is going to be dominated defenses in the Serie A. Guys, if an 18-year-old just out of the blue starts dominating defenses in the Serie A, then Serie A is really a joke. Okay, like that's the truth. If all of a sudden a 18-year-old comes and dominates the defenses of Serie A then is a joke. And or this guy is a Ballon d'Or kind of player. But let's keep our expectations low. Or our expectations balanced. Leao came when he was 20, Lazetic is 18, so he might have to wait a while, or he'll just go at Alkmaar like Kerkez. It is very possible, guys. It is very possible. And like when you're 18 years old and you've just done, let's say academy games, for let's say a country that doesn't have a huge footballing infrastructure, and a country that does not participate so much in the top European competitions at high levels, Champions League, quarterfinals, semifinals. So obviously, coming from that environment, then going into Serie A, at Milan, one of the biggest clubs in football history, and you have Ibrahimovic, that is the biggest personality in football in the world. Ibrahimovic. Is there anyone that has more personality than Ibra? I honestly don't think so. Ibra is the number one when it comes to personality and confidence, charisma, etc., etc. Guys, Lazetic is like a puppy right now, surrounded by giants, and that's what he's living. That's what he's living. That's how he's living life right now. He's absorbing. He's learning. Let's see. Kalulu took like 1 year, but even when he first started playing, yeah, Kalulu definitely was special from the start. Kalulu seemed like an experienced player from the first game. Yeah, absolutely. Kalulu's latest interview says it all. He was preparing for the moment from the start of the season. His teammates aren't even surprised at his performance because they see what he can do in training. Yeah, Kalulu is. It seems like he's been playing forever. It is so crazy, and just the story of Kalulu and how he became an AC Milan player is incredible. The fact that he was paid so little, but now this is where we have to see, because this next step here is another important step. All right, that Kalulu has to go through. Right now, Kalulu is going to get a lot of praise, and there's going to be expected a lot from him. So he has to do what Saki keeps on telling the team. Be humble, stay humble. Don't let this get to your head. Don't start thinking that you deserve a 10 million contract and you should be playing for Man City, etc., etc. Just keep on working hard and be humble and do it the right way. So this is a big step for him, and let's see if he can do it. I think he can. I think he can. I think he can. All right. MG True. I was just answering Roy because he said if Lazarus is okay, sorry. Let me see what you're. Yeah, Mbappe was destroying. Well, Mbappe was destroying teams. Let's say even before the World Cup, when he was at Monaco, he was. He was fantastic. I remember him playing against Juve, and I remember how the Juventus defenders were talking about him, and he was definitely a player. He was definitely a player that was ready straight away. Like Mbappe is like he's always been playing football. It's in him. It's in his network. It's he just knows what to do, when to do, and he's not afraid to do it. But a lot of players, the majority of players aren't like that. The majority of players need to learn, need to get accustomed, need to adapt, need to become essentially their best. While some players are just very few players are like that. At 19, people are writing essays in college. Mbappe was being Messi in the World Cup. Incredible. Yeah. What's up, Skillard? How you doing? Scoring the equalizer goal versus Genoa last season on your first full start. Yeah. I mean, look at that. Just look at that when it comes to Kalulu. I mean, his first. I think that was his first debut, and he scored the goal. Ivory was but he was definitely there. Yeah, he scored the goal. And also, guys, Kalulu has scored some really wonderful goals in the France under 21, like really high level quality goals. All right, let's see what MMG was saying. Lazetic isn't tactically up to speed. It took. All right. Giroud shouldn't start against the lower teams. I would say Giroud in big games and Zlatan against the lower teams. Yeah. I mean, Zlatan is obviously a player that you cannot play every game. So that's a way of managing them. Yeah. Benacer is a pit bull. The guy fight. Yeah, Benacer is a pit bull. A pit bull with a lot of quality. Diaz will play against Empoli, methinks. If Diaz plays, then I'm expecting Salamakers to play, but I don't think so. I think right now, uh, Pioli needs to find his core, needs to find his starting 11, and he needs to start every single game with the same starting 11. And that needs to be your team, and then you have your 5 subs and you rotate it. At this point, it needs to be set in stone. You go with your best and you don't fuck around. All you're fighting for is the Scudetto, the Coppa Italia. If you lose, guys, nobody's going to be thinking it's the end of the world. Trust me. But if you win and you go to the final, it's good. Good for the club. Good, big Milan in another final. And if we win the final, we can even say we won a cup. Pioli wins his first trophy with Milan. But the Scudetto is obviously the important one. And right now, you go with your best team. Kessi Benacer Tonali is your best team. Messias on the right, Leao on the left. So now you're a center forward. Perfect balance between midfield, high press, offensive play, and then your defense. You have Theo Hernandez that comes in and he pretty much adds sometimes as a midfielder, attacking midfielder, or sometimes as a right winger, left winger, and sometimes even as a center forward. Theo Hernandez runs in all these very offensive, dangerous positions. So you have him as your added weapon, and then you have the 3 in the back that create your defensive balance. Either Florencio Calabria, Kalulu, Tomori, or Romagnoli. And that's what you go with. Right now, maybe the discussion is, do we go back to Romagnoli or do we keep Kalulu? Well, I think Kalulu is going to start this game because Romania just came from a muscle injury, and you don't want to really mess around with those, especially in the groin area. That groin area is a very delicate area, and you can get recurring injuries there. So I don't expect Romagnoli to start. I do think Kalulu and Tomori are going to start, and that's a great pairing right there. So there's nothing to be worried about. Calabria is going to be playing most likely on the left, according to the reports that are coming out. Sorry, not Calabria. Florenzi. Florenzi is going to be playing on the left. Guys, Florenzi is a player that Milan must keep. Florenzi is an incredible football player. So nothing to worry about right there. Florenzi has played against Empoli a million times. He knows exactly what kind of personality you need to play against Empoli in a game at high-stake game. And then we have Calabria on the right. Calabria maybe not in the best form after him coming back from that injury. He still hasn't reached his peak yet, but playing more is going to help him get on his peak. I would move Calabria to the left, Skillard. Maybe, yeah, that's something he could do. But, I mean, I don't think he's going to do that. Usually he would... it's Florence's birthday today. Nice. Happy birthday, Florenzi. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he will move Calabria to the left. Calabria has kind of made that right his own, so you keep him there. That's your best thing. And you put Florenzi, who can guarantee you a great game on the left and can guarantee a great game on the right. So he's going to most likely put Calabria on the right. Sorry, Calabria on the right, Florenzi on the left. And if he does otherwise, we'll see. Florenzi personality is amazing. The guy is a Romanista to the core, but plays like he's a Milanista. Well, he's an exceptional football player, and he's an incredibly intelligent football player. And then he has a lot of personality, right? He likes to play with integrity, and he loves the game. He treats the game with a lot of respect. So, man, this operation, guys, this is a top player. Florenzi, in my opinion, when it comes to role players, so players that are not necessarily players that are going to come and score your goals, but players that are going to participate in the team, etc. This is a top player. This operation here is incredible. I cannot believe how great this operation was. When we got Florenzi, I could not believe it. I cannot believe that what a great operation. I really hope that we keep him. We'll see. Maybe he's not going to want to be, a bench player. So we got to watch out for that. Um, yeah. And then Mike Magnan, guys. Mike Magnan is great. We know who Mike Magnan is. Freaking Donnarumma. Guys, let's watch this Donnarumma incident with Benzema. And let's see if this was a foul or if this... Because I haven't really seen it. I haven't really analyzed it. It just... Honestly, I didn't even see the goal when it happened. But I gotta say this: Romagnol. No, what's his name? Donnarumma right now looks like a clown. He looks like a clown. He looks like a clown. I don't know what he's doing, but he looks like a clown. He might as well stay with. Actually, I mean, to be honest with you guys, even though this sounds mean, but Mike Magnan is such a guarantee. Maybe I don't know if I really mean this, but maybe I'm thankful that he left. I don't know. All right, let's check this. I got it right here. Let's see if it was a foul or not. All right. Let's see this. I'm going to slow it down. Let's see if this was a foul or not. All right, let's check. Okay, so now we have, I think that's Kimpembe, and he has the ball, and he passes it back to Donnarumma right there. So now let's see. Let's analyze this situation because we need to see what Donnarumma's options are. All right, so that's where he touches the ball. So now he has two open players that he can pass the ball to. He has this guy right here, which would split Benzema, and I believe that is what is this guy's name? Fuck. Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. guys. So yeah, he would split it, or he can open up the field to this guy, but he takes a touch to. Let's see, his first touch. Okay, so he's waiting too long, and Benacer is coming up to him. Not Benacer, Benzema's coming up to him with a lot of intent. Right there, too much time, because he does have he does have the option to go to hit this guy right away because there's a lot of space right here. When Donnarumma touches the ball, there, look at all the space. So one and boom, right there. But he waits too long because he's trying to open up the field. So he was looking for this guy, and he decided in that moment that he was going to look for this guy, and instead he tries to open up the field. So this is the mistake Donnarumma makes right there. This is the mistake he makes. The mistake he makes is that he's not even thinking about this guy. He's already thinking about this guy. So he's just waiting himself to settle the ball in position, even though right there, he's got the middle player right there. Boom. But he tries to go wide, and it doesn't work out. No, terrible, terrible. I think the other player was probably marked again. Now, is that a foul? Oh, dude, this player is nowhere to be seen. Oh, look at him. Look at where he is. So Vinicius Jr. finds the ball. Oh, man, he almost got to it, too, actually. It went through his hand. It went through his hand. All right, let's see the moment, the impact. Asking for the foul. All right, all right. So let's see. Man, look at all the space he has. What? Look at him. Look at that. Give it to him right away. Nah. Donnarumma. All right. Hmm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Wow, difficult call. Is this a foul? I can see a case for it. Now the question is it more for it or against it? Let's see if there's another angle. Okay, right there. So touches the ball, sets himself up. Is there any kind of obstruction here? Mm. Wow, I don't know. Because you can argue that this here, putting his leg in front of this leg, and he's not nowhere near the ball. So that is definitely obstruction right there. That's obstruction. Um, Now, the thing is it enough obstruction for Donnarumma to have not done his pass correctly? Right there. So you could make a case that right there, he goes in front of him, but he's taking the shot. Now, if Donnarumma was smarter, he would have passed the ball much earlier to the guy coming in the middle. And if he was smart here, he should have fallen on the ball and asked for a foul. But instead, he passes it there. That's where he should have just fallen on the ball and kind of tried to make a weird, just tried to make some theater out of it, some kind of theater out of it, and look for a foul. Try and convince the referee that it is a foul. But he passes the ball in an area where the defender is not even there. There was definitely, he hits the ground right there. Hmm. If Gigio was smarter, he would have signed the renewal. Benzema world class RTGs between him and Leo. Is he a clown? Is he a clown? It's so hard to tell if this is a foul or not. It's hard to tell. It's really difficult to tell. Right there. He puts his leg in front of him on his thigh. Right there. Hits him right there. There's contact right there. I'm thinking if this happened in the midfield, you would have some referees call this as a foul if it would happen in the midfield, and if it obstructed, let's say, a pass. I think in the midfield, this would have most likely been called a foul by certain referees, not by other referees. So there is a case. There is a case that this is a foul. Now, I think, Joel, you're correct. Even if this is a foul, Donnarumma is a clown. He did. You see, this is the difference between Donnarumma and Mike Maignan. That Mike Maignan doesn't take risks. He does not take risks. And Mike Maignan knows that when he needs to just clear the ball away, kick it as far as he can, he'll do it. And that's that's the old school way of thinking. Baresi, right? That's the old way school of thinking, and that way of thinking works. Donnarumma is trying to be like a playmaker, and that was always his thing. He tries to be like this short passing playmaker, and it's too much. It's too risky. It's too risky. So I think he definitely goes in the clown category for this one. Definitely, 100%, absolutely. Donnarumma definitely goes in the clown category for this one. So Donnarumma is officially a clown right now. Officially a clown. Now, if this was Mike Maignan, this is what Mike Maignan would have done. Most likely, Mike Maignan would have done this. He would have set up this touch with the outside of his foot, right there, outside of his foot instead of the inside, and also that. Oh my God, even more clown. So, so he wants to pass the ball outside here. And what he does, he touches the ball with the inside of his foot. So the ball, his first touch sends the ball the opposite direction. So now he has to wait and position his body in order to. So what he should have done, the clown, he should have touched it with the outside right there instead of the inside. You see how he does it? Outside and pass it to here. But what Mike Maignan would have done, most likely, in a situation like this, when you're winning the game, outside touch, boot it out. Boot it out, and probably he was going to find a player. When you have a player pressing you like this, But he could have done the outside touch. So that's where he clowned himself. Yeah, definitely a clown. I'm glad Gijo isn't smart. That's why we've been blessed with an upgrade, Mike. Uh, yeah, right now, Mike is definitely an upgrade for sure. I couldn't believe what I was watching during the game. I thought Real Madrid were out, but that's the magic of UCL DNA for you. Yeah, right. Real Madrid. And also, let's talk about that game a little bit, guys. Messi is so pointless. Like you can, if you were a coach, I bet that Pochettino would love not to play Messi. I bet if Pochettino really had his decisions, because if I was a coach, I wouldn't be playing Messi. Messi does not run for you. He does not run for the team. He does not work hard. He does not sweat for the team. Um, he will do he will what Messi tries to do. Well, what he tries to do, what he does, is he conserves his energy only for when he needs to attack. But the issue is the team around him is not good enough for him to do that. So he needs to. He's in a situation where he should be actually helping the team, and he should be helping the team with leadership, pressing, and hustling and bustling and all that crap. But instead, he doesn't do it. He does a little bit of that, but most of what he does is he waits for the ball. When the ball is on his feet, he tries to do shit. He tries to make shit happen, and he conserves his energy for those moments. Now, Neymar is like him. So Neymar, a little bit more work rate than Messi. Neymar will come all the way down, but Neymar does not have the bite of a Rottweiler. Neymar does not have much bite at all, to be honest with you. So now you have two players in your team. So that's two out of 10 runners that do not really help the team when you don't have the ball. Like they don't do the job at high levels. So in order for that to work, then you also have Mbappe. That Mbappe is another player that needs to waste his energy with his forward runs. Mbappe will come back and collect the ball a little bit deeper. Once he has the ball, he's sprinting. So, and if you're sprinting, the way towards the opponent's goal, if you lose the ball, all of a sudden you're 80 meters away from the play. So you're nowhere to be seen. So essentially, when PSG does not have the ball, they're missing 3 players on the field. 2 that are supposed to be there, and then Mbappe, he tries. That team will never work because football, unfortunately, is not how big your contract is. Football is how much work you do, and yeah, that's not going to work. It's definitely not going to work. Now, in a 4-3-3 system, that's probably what he should do. He should do a 4-3-3 system, and that means he would sacrifice someone. So he should have Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi. That should be his trident. He should not play Messi as the number 10. He should play Messi as the number 11. He should play Mbappe as a number 9 and Neymar as a number 7. And then in the middle, the thing he doesn't have the midfield to do this. In the middle, he needs 3 midfielders that are like a Xavi, a Busquets, and an Iniesta, right? 3 midfielders that have the work rate, but in that case, that's a little bit different because those players kept the ball for 70 minutes. They have the ball on their feet. But essentially, if you're going to play with Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, you need a Kessie in there, you need a Verratti in there, and you need a Paredes. That's how you do it. You put Kessie in there, and a 4-3-3, and now all you ask Messi and Neymar to do is to come all the way down to the midfield line. So when you defend, your defensive posture is a 4-5-1, and sometimes they could substitute. Neymar could go in the center, Mbappe takes the left, or Messi goes in the center, Mbappe takes. They could rotate that. That's their best solution. Another thing is they don't have 3 midfielders. They don't have 3 midfielders. That 4-2-3-1 is not good for how Messi and Neymar play. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah, that job sucks. The PSG job is not a great job because you don't have much freedom in how you put that team together. PSG is finished. Their midfield besides Verratti is useless. Yeah, Paredes is not bad. Paredes is not bad. He's actually pretty good, I think. But he's not Verratti. Verratti is, fuck, man. Verratti is, wow. Verratti is such a great midfielder. By the way, guys, in these past days, we were linked to Jorginho. I wouldn't mind having Jorginho in the team. And also, there is this talk. I heard an interesting proposal or idea from Pellegatti today, saying that pretty much what he's saying is that we don't need to buy Botman because Kalulu has shown to be, a player that is reliable. But here, I think he is completely wrong about this because we do need to buy a defender that can play with his left, a left-footed central defender, because that's what we're losing with Romagnoli. And in your team, you want to have at least one central defender that can play with his left because just for practical purposes. And also, Botman brings you something else. He brings you height. He's the kind of, like let's look at Liverpool and their defense. They have these two giants. They have Van Dijk and Matip, or Van Dijk and Konate. These giant defenders. So we're going to have one of these giant defenders pretty there. And that's essentially a good thing to have. So I don't agree with his assessment about Botman, saying that we don't need to get Botman. But then he talked about moving the team to a 4-3-3, and saying we don't need to buy a replacement for Kessie because Ali and Pobega are going to come in, and essentially with Ali, Pobega, Benacer, Tonali, Krunic, and I guess I don't know who else. I don't know Bakayoko. So we have the three midfielders for a line of three. Now I have something to say about that. And then he's saying allocate the funds to Berardi on the right wing, which today the newspapers again linking Berardi to a possible move. And but he did say something very, very, very important, a technical element regarding the market that we have to keep in consideration. We are losing Romagnoli, right? And losing Romagnoli means that we lose Romagnoli and Kessie, two players that are considered in the regulation system Italian players. Kessie because he started at I'm not sure how Kessie is in that category, but this is what he was explaining. That Kessie is in that category, I guess, because he started at a certain age. So he puts him in a category that he is part of the Italian system. And Romagnoli being Italian. So he was saying this is an indicator that they do need to get, because of the regulations, Italian players, at least one Italian player. And of course, guys, you got Belotti, which if we can, let's say, not allocate our funds towards the attacking midfield position and move to a 4-3-3, his suggestion is allocate those funds to a Berardi, a Belotti, and another striker. So next year you have Giroud, Belotti, another striker, and Berardi. Now, this is what he said today. It's an interesting proposition. Um, my take on that is he's wrong about Botman. We do need to get a left-footed defender, so he's definitely wrong about that. And then when it comes to the Kessie situation, now it is true, I think, that as long as you replace Kessie with a top player, then you are making some kind of switch, some kind of swap that is balanced. Doesn't mean that the top player needs to be in the same position. Could be a top player in another position, but that means that you have to change the formation. So that is a decent point. The issue I have with that is that I don't know, and I don't think neither Maldini, Massara, and Pioli know if Adli and Pobega are ready to come and take Milan's midfield by the balls the same way Kessie has done. So That is the issue I have with this proposal. Um, we're losing a top midfielder. We need to replace him with another top midfielder. This is football 101. So, unless, let's say, Ali is a top midfielder, is Pobega a top midfielder? I don't know. I guess we will find out next year. Pobega now is saying he's coming back to the team, so he's going to be in the team. But it's an interesting proposition, and I'm sure they're considering that because it does make sense. It does mean if, let's say, you don't spend the money on Renato Sanchez, but you spend the money on your right wing and your offense. It is an interesting proposition. As far as Sanchez goes, the narrative on Sanchez has shifted quite a lot. English teams are on Sanchez. Juventus is on Sanchez. So Sanchez is, of course, a piece that many teams want. Of course, he's a fantastic midfielder. Quality, quantity. Um, some people, well, Pellegatti has questioned his personality because he's a player that moves a lot and he can't find stability. I don't know if the management considers that. We don't know. But as far as what he can produce, it is understandable why many teams are after him. So we will see if we can get him. We definitely will see. Now, there was an article that came out which mentioned some of the numbers in this operation right there. Okay. La Gazzetta dello Sport confirmed our report that from earlier this week by stating that Renato Sanchez is the man that has become the number one target over the last few months now when it comes to reinforcing the midfield and replacing Frank Kessie. The 24-year-old is having a season of exceptional performances for Lille, and he has already made it clear that he would be very much in favor of joining the Rossoneri, where he would reunite with his friends Mike Magnan. Now, this is a very interesting brand of fake news. He didn't literally say that, but he implied it that he's happy that Milan is after him. He did imply that, but he didn't say it the same way. See, this is a trickery that journalists do. However, Milan must beware of European and Italian competition from Juve, and that is why they have been in dialogue with his entourage for some time, after which they will speak to Lille, something that could be difficult if they wish to start an auction. Let's see. The Portuguese international's valuation is around 20 to 25 million at the moment, but the last part of the season could potentially increase the price. Milan are ready to offer a 5-year deal worth 3.5 million net per season, so a commitment of 15 to 17 million. Yeah, of course, if Juventus is in the picture, Juventus is not going to offer him 3.5 million. Juventus is probably going to offer him 5 or 6. Or maybe not. I don't know. Juventus definitely needs to do something about their. Actually, if I was Juventus, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because Juventus, guys, if you look at Juventus, is when it comes to their wage bill, it is disgusting. It is double the amount of Bayern Munich's wage bill. I mean, that's freaking unbelievable. How is that even possible? Juventus's wage bill is high. So, but anyway, if they want to offer more money to than to Sanchez, they will. So yeah, when it comes to the auction thing, we got to watch out. I guess it will be up to the player which project he thinks will be best for him, and we'll see. And by the way, strong voices are linking Kessie to Barcelona, and pretty much it's the agent that wants the money. Barcelona is pretty much offering Kessie the same thing that we are offering him, but the agent wants that dough. The agent is looking for a paycheck, guys. Paycheck City. Agent comes from Paycheck City, Atangana. All right, let's see what he says. Frank Kessie is expected to leave AC Milan at the end of the season as his contract will expire. There's no renewal on the horizon, and he has accepted an offer from Barcelona, a report claims. Ooh. The midfielder has been an important player for Milan since he arrived from Atalanta, but despite months of negotiations, common ground wasn't found. In fact, talks are no longer ongoing, as the Rossoneri's stance is so clear. According to the journalist Rudy Galletti, okay, according to the journalist Rudy Galletti, Kessie has accepted a contract from Barcelona worth 6 million plus bonuses, exactly what we offered him. It isn't far away from Milan's offer. It should be noted, but the main difference is the commission of the agent. Paycheck City. Paycheck City. Milan are obviously very strict with wages, and they certainly have little room for a commission. Kessie's agent, Georgia Tangana, is asking for a very high commission from Barcelona, and talks are ongoing on that front, per the journalist. Let's go, guys. Hey, agents play the game too, you know. Kessie plays his game. Kessie's game is playing football. Agent's game is making money. And Paycheck City coming in. Rudiger for free over Botman. Rudiger for free or Botman. Ooh. Hmm. I would say footballing wise, Rudiger, but contractually Botman. You get out what you're going to do with him if Allegri is your manager anyway. Yeah, you're not going to get much from him. Allegri will kill Sanchez. Yes, Allegri deserves to play in a team like Milan where his football suits us perfectly. We replace Gigio, we can replace Kessie. He can go get destroyed by Bayern and UCL every season will be fine. Absolutely. I've heard Kessie's name many times now. It's never positive. Let's just forget him. He is gone. Well, look, yes, I think it's very clear. If it wasn't for the agent, Kessie would still be an AC Milan player. He would already signed the contract. The issue is right there. It's a lie, pretty much. It's a lie that, or maybe it's not a lie, but maybe we're just trying to balance the ratio. I don't know, but maybe it's a lie that Kessie is asking Milan, "I'll only sign if I get 8 million." I think that's a lie. It's all about the agent. Paycheck City for the agent. Barca, another club that somehow gets FFP with all that debt. Somehow something fishy is going on over there. Barca, guys, makes a shitload of money every year. Shitload of money, guys. We're not even close to what Barca makes. Serious question. Kalulu is better on center back all day. Right back, he's okay. He had that assist for Maldini. But aside from that, I have not seen him be exceptional in the right back position when it comes to playing that position. When you enter the offensive quadrant of the field, he still has a lot to improve on that. So right now, center back is perfect for him. And by the way, I once not long so bad at Milan. I don't know this player. I don't know. I've been hearing about him, but I don't know. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he has done. I just don't know, guys. I do not know. I have no clue. What the hell is going on with Nathan's favorite player, Hagwe? Let's see. However, they're now sitting in 10th place, having recovered instead of shifts. So far this season, Hagwe has 23 appearances with only 3 goals. Not very good. And wow, not good numbers at all. Some Milan fans scrutinized the decision to let him leave after just one season, but the presence of Rafa Leao and Ante Rebic. Nonetheless, Hagwe will have an an economic legacy. Join Verosoneri from Bodo Glimt for 4.5, and the agreement with Frank Club is a loan option by 10 million. Bonuses reaching 12 million. That becomes an obligation upon survival. Milan therefore ready for an 8 million plus capital gain that they can reinvest. Okay, we already knew this. We didn't need to read this. This is what we call, or what I guess you call, recycled news. Recycled news. Kalulu and Tomori is a serious partnership. They have everything. Do they have everything? No, they don't. But it is a serious partnership. How we're leaving and Lao staying turned out very well. People need to stop questioning our management so much. I agree. I definitely agree. Let's see. What the fuck is this? Never adopt these 15 dog breeds. What? I don't know what that shit appears. Googling their stupid ads. I did see this interview Pierre did. He speaks Italian very well. Great job on his Italian. Let's see what he says here. On his good performance, the crowd are appreciating my performances, but the team knows that I have been working hard for months to be at this level. On his future and the fans, they're always affectionate, and it's something that gives you something more. I feel good at Milan. I play more, and I can prove my worth. I'm very happy. On the Scudetto, we think game by game, and on Saturday there's Empoli. We want to win. After the break, let's see if we are close or not, and where we can get. Of a nickname Pirino, that always makes my family laugh, but I have to ask my mother if she likes it. Okay. What the fuck is this? Corriere dello Sport, linking Leao to Barcelona. These guys just want to create drama, huh? They just want to create drama. That's all they want to do. They want to create drama. The 22-year-old has scored 11 goals and has added 6 assists. Pretty good numbers in 31 games. He definitely can reach the 20-goal mark in contribution. Guys, by the way, Berardi is at 12 goals and 11 assists. That's just in Serie A, I think. I don't know if that's in Serie A. And I think there's more when it comes to the cups. Coppa Italia, I think he scored in the Coppa Italia. So I don't know his exact numbers, but this guy's numbers are crazy. Berardi's number, guys. If we get Berardi, wow. Our offense is going to be lethal. Leao, Berardi, and I don't know who's going to be the center forward, but maybe Giroud or Belotti, or maybe another one. I don't know. Right. According to Corriere dello Sport, Milan want to try and secure Leao's long-term future through the extension of his contract with a pay rise, but there's interest from abroad as Barcelona. Fucking Barcelona. The Blaugrana are somewhat rebuilding after the departure of Lionel Messi, and from a financial point of view, they seem to be recovering, getting ready to make big investments to join the elite. Okay, whatever. It's just a stupid link. Nobody believes it. Guys, let's talk about this. Inter. Leon needs an Italian girlfriend. I think he does have an Italian. Doesn't he not have an Italian girlfriend? Let's talk about Inter. Inter is like this dog right here. Where's my dog? Right here. But the only difference is that my dog, when it growls, it actually bites after that. It doesn't just growl, it bites too. Inter is just a dog that growls. And they definitely embarrassed themselves in the Champions League. Stupid fucking Sanchez, right? As soon as they score, they out themselves, you know. And this is what they do. This is a team that does not has zero DNA when it comes to Europe, and they just outed themselves of the competition. Just a low IQ team. A team with no DNA spirit, a team that unfortunately is built a little bit suspect. But on the positive side, they did play good football, and I do think that if that's the kind of football they play, and if Inter played in England and they played that kind of football, Inter would be in the top four, and maybe even could be challenging for the EPL. Because footballing wise, Inter played much better on both legs, much better than Liverpool. Like Liverpool is just a million times more experienced, just a million times more confident, and they know how to close the spaces. They know how to hurt you when they have to hurt you. Liverpool is a top professional football team. It's a team that has everything. But when it comes to football, when it comes to managing the ball and bringing the ball from the defense to the offense, Inter's a better team. Inter's a better team. They don't have personality, so they can't close a game. They don't score goals. They don't have that charisma. They don't have the personality to do that. But if Inter played in the EPL with a few, let's say, just maybe a few more players, not so many, Inter would do really well in the EPL. And I wonder if the same could be said about Milan and Napoli. But at least I got to say that about Inter. If there's one positive thing I got to say is that my hat goes off to Inter and the way they play football. But as I said, it's a team that has no balls. It's a team that has no personality. A team that has no charisma. A team that does not know what it means to be a European champion. A team that has no DNA. Klopp talked about how he likes Milan's project again. I'm going to call right now. He's coming to Milan at some point in the future. He could come to Milan. I think he'd be a perfect coach for AC Milan. Honestly, Klopp is a perfect coach for most top teams. But I definitely see his personality combining well with Milan's philosophy and Milan's way of doing things. Okay, all right. Let's see what else we got over here. Let's see what else. Saki highlights the 3 key qualities. Okay, I didn't read this one. Let's see. I've been paying attention to what Saki says. He's Yoda. He's the Yoda of football. So you always got to pay attention to what Yoda says. All right. Former AC Milan coach Arrigo Sacchi has heaped praise upon the current team for their style of play, claiming that they already have a European style. And this is something, guys, that we noticed last year. Not even last year. We noticed this. Well, actually, I think last year, at least for me, I guess I saw that this was a team that played European football, but maybe we should have seen it even earlier. I can't remember if I had made that assumption in not the last season, but one before that, but definitely last season. The feeling was that it's a European team. Sacchi gave an interview to the newspaper La Gazzetta dello Sport about the Rossoneri, and he revealed his belief that the squad are quite deep and they have multiple players in each position able to come in and fill a gap if there are selection issues. That is not true. They are young, they have enthusiasm, they have courage, and with the organization, both corporate and in the team, they fill the gaps. This is how we must think, he said. Okay. We don't have that much depth. Let's be honest. Milan, we have much better depth than last year, definitely. But do we? I don't know. Milan already European. They play with a pure system. 2 defenders against 2 forwards. When they lose one due to injury, another enters from the bench, and hardly anyone notices. True. I'm thinking of Kalulu or Gambia. It means that there is an idea of the game. That is the key word. Idea of game. This is one of the most difficult things for a football coach to do, to transmit to your players the idea of the game and have everybody be in synchrony with each other, be in synergy with each other, and everybody know exactly what everybody else's assignments are. That's the thing about a football team. If you are the central defender, you got to know exactly what the other central defender does, what the left back does, full back, with midfielders, etc., etc. the idea of the game. This is very true. Little by little, and I think it's the best one in Italy. It is the best one in Italy. Maybe Atalanta, but maybe Atalanta is better. Maybe Atalanta is better. I would say their idea is better. But right now, luckily for us, they're not. They're struggling. Little by little has been understood by the collective. Correct. That's exactly what I was saying. Saki has always been full of praise for Pioli and the work that the Rossoneri coach has done in 2.5 years, given that he has transformed the team from one battling for the Europa League to being in the Champions League and fighting for trophies. The merits are also due to the management too, led by the excellent work of director Paolo Maldini and Frederic Massara, without forgetting the support of CEO Ivan Gazidis. All right. Yoda. When Yoda speaks, you listen. You listen. Milan likely to. Ooh, look at this. This just came out right now, guys. This one just came out right now. A little gem, a little gift. What's up, Safe? Safe is in the house. Let's see what Safe says. Love and peace to all Rossoneri family. If we lose, draw this game, then seriously, this team can fuck itself. Damn. Damn. Smash Empoli and then take Bayrami for a depth signing. That's pretty good. I would definitely like Bayrami is very good. Roy, our last Scudetto season, we ended with 28 wins, 5 draws, and 5 losses. You reckon we could top that this season? Well, we are at 4 losses, and I don't know how many ties we're at. Napoli's at 5 losses. You can reckon we could top that this season? Yeah, it can happen, sure. I think in these next 10 games, Milan can, I'm not saying win all the games, but they can not lose any of the games. They definitely have the personnel to do that. They have the quality to do that. They have the infrastructure to do that. They just need to, believe, be lucky here and there, but fight with. Krunic is Skillard's favorite player. We can't take him back, guys. We can't take him back. All right, so what is this, guys? Look at this. This just came out right now. Calciomercato.com report how Sanchez could have joined Milan in the last few days of the winter transfer window as the Rossoneri made a concrete attempt to bring him to Milanello. We know that. But the deal faded as Lille preferred to postpone the operation. So it was Lille? Lille. Yeah, if I was Lille, I would have done the same thing. Oh my God, we could have had him already. Oh shit. If this is true, we could have had him already. The Portuguese international has already promised himself to Milan. Now, honestly, this is what I kind of was. This is the messaging that was coming out. Like when this started, it really felt, and even those Instagram likes, and those are indicative. Him writing to Mike Magnan, Andiamo in Italian, and the links are perfect. It makes total sense. Renato Sanchez makes total sense. I mean, it is the most obvious player you can replace Cassie with. He is Milan, meaning he plays football, like beautiful football. Milan love beautiful football. And Sanchez is the number one dude. So, anyway, but his must now be turned into a concrete agreement to avoid the other clubs to Juventus have entered the race. Oh, man. Roy, if you have the power, would you start with Renato Benacer Tonali in a 4-3-3, or you'd rather keep the formation as it is and rotate between the three? Well, I think with Renato Benacer and Tonali, you can play a 4-2-3-1. You just put Renato. You just ask Renato to do what Kessie does. That's it. What Kessie is doing right now. You could do a 4-3-3. Renato's a mezzala. Benacer and Tonali. They're both more central, though. Um, it would have to be a weird shape in the middle in a 4-3-3. It wouldn't be a symmetric line with Benacer and Tonali. It would have to be a little bit adjusted. Now, Benacer Tonali in a 2 makes complete sense. They're perfect for a 4-2-3-1. Benacer and Tonali. But in a 3, who would you make your other mezzala? Because Benacer and Tonali are both deep line playmakers. I guess Tonali is your deep line playmaker, and Benacer kind of play makes. Benacer is not going to play like a mezzala, though. Benacer doesn't have the lungs to play like a mezzala. Actually, Benacer is not a mezzala. And Tonali could be. Yeah, Tonali definitely has the lungs to be a mezzala. So it'd be exactly like that. Renato on the left, Benacer in the middle, Tonali on the right. But it looks like Pioli is not a fan of that. I think Pioli likes to use Tonali in front of the defense. You'd rather keep the formations and rotate between 3. No, I think you can still play 4-2-3-1 with those 3. It's because Lille are still the Champions League. They didn't want to lose him and bought men in January. Right. Yeah, exactly. Of course, if I was Lille, I wouldn't sell him either. It's Benacer needs to get renewed as soon as possible. Get rid of that release clause. Yes, yeah. Benacer also another player that we're going to watch out for, but he's they were saying that they're going to renew him. That narrative kind of went silent. Ali's playing for a relegated team. I hope this doesn't affect his game. Yeah, Ali. Honestly, I don't know what Ali is going to bring to this team. I have no clue whatsoever, guys. I have no idea how he's going to be used. I have no idea what kind of impact he's going to have. I don't know if he's going to adjust to Serie A right away. I don't know how long it's going to take for him. I have no clue what to expect from Adli. Tonali followed Zelinski to his toilet last month. That's nice. Would you take Fit Prime Pato in the team now or Mbappe right now? Wait, what? Would you take a Fit Prime Pato in the team now or Mbappe right now? Hand in heart, I'd take Pato. You mean Pato when he was in his prime with Milan or Mbappe? I would go Mbappe. Because Mbappe seems to be a player that is not going to slow down anytime soon. Yeah, Mbappe is I think Mbappe is a level higher than Pato. Follow Zelinski back to Poland. How the heck are Bordeaux in 20th? Wasn't Ali supposed to leave a team to glory? Leave them to glory. Yeah, I mean, shit. I don't know. I don't watch the Ligue 1, but it must be a pretty shitty situation in that locker room. I guess if I would guess, I think he's pretty relaxed because he knows he's going to go big time football. But one of the worst things in professional football is being relegated. It's one of the worst feelings any professional footballer can have. So yeah, it's probably not a nice environment to be in right now. Okay, all right. Let's see if there's a few more articles here we can check. See what's going on. Ooh, the Milan Juventus women's team. Wow. Nobody cares. Some people do. I don't. Sorry. Sorry if that comes harsh. I don't know. I don't know why I don't care about women's football. I don't know. Does that make me an evil person? Does that make me a bad person? People blame Ali while Bordeaux always went into administration. Have a shit squad and angry fans, and he's super young. Come on. Well, I don't know. Are people blaming Adli? I have no idea. Adli's probably fine. He's probably fine because he knows that he's coming to Milan. Florenzi. Milan are seriously considering paying the four. You fucking well do it right away. Milan is seriously considering paying the 4.5 million to sign him at the end of the season, as we reported, a rather affordable figure that the club are inclined to invest in a European champion and leader on and off the pitch who already knows what it means to be at the club. Yeah. Pioli also recently praised him. He's a strong player for sure. He's a Milan starter for me. I think so too. You know, we will see what choices I will make from time to time. What I can say is that I'm happy with his performances and with his contribution. He is a player I can only speak well of. Grande Florenzi. Grande. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. I don't know. Maybe Laird is going to do another live pre-game live. We shall see. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so I spoke about the Empoli game, and I reiterate, I think what Pioli is doing right now, he needs to keep on doing it. This is the score. Whatever you do, play with Kessi, Benacer, and Tonali all the time. Use those three players. Let's win the Scudetto, guys. Let's go. Let's win the Scudetto. How about that, guys? Let's win this freaking Scudetto. And guys, having said that, I hope I will see you tomorrow. We will see. We'll see if we're going to do a live. But if not, we will definitely see you in the post matches coming up. Au revoir, arrivederci, and forza Milan.